Okay, hello fam, hello toppings and hoodies. Welcome back to another KPC Weekend Live, where we usually talk about Korean news, entertainment. But since this is a weekend live, I'm gonna just be talking to you guys, chatting, and just giving you a life update. What's been going on? It's been a while since I've talked to you, so yeah, it's just gonna be a pretty chill live today. You can ask whatever questions you want about Korea or in general. But welcome everybody. Hello, chat, Michelle, Vikesh, Chanmer. Good morning. Been a minute for me. Yes. Kel, hello. Yes. Back to our streams. David and hoodies. Yeah. Did you miss the chill streams? Yeah. Like the recent ones were pretty intense, right? So this one's going to be very laid back. I'm not even going to do like a Patreon after show after this. Yeah. For this week's podcast episode, I'm probably going to pre-record one and upload it on Patreon. So if you're interested in exclusive and additional podcasts, go check out Patreon. And you can support the channel as well. So how good is that, right? You get perks and support the channel with just the price of a cup of coffee, right? Hello, Ryan, Creative Mindful Heart, Connie, Maria from London, Nova, hello, Mishka from UK. Okay, where are you guys all watching from and what time it is? Always curious about that. It is currently 1:13 a.m. in Seoul, South Korea. It's the end of March, March 31st. Korea has been going through very weird weather. Right now, the cherry blossoms have started to bloom, but then there's also a lot of wind and also a lot of snow coming. So I don't know what's happening. Yeah. Hello, Jessica from the Philippines. Sharon from Colorado. MG, hello. Benedicta from Norway. Okay. Portugal, 515. Phoenix, 914. UK, 514. Okay. Great, great. Hello, Charlotte. Oh, the wildfires. Yeah, it's crazy. So, just to give you guys a little update about Korea, Korea has been going through a very tough spot recently because of a massive wildfire spread across the country. It first started in the Gyeongbuk, Gyeongsang province area around places like Sancheong, Ulsan. There's also Andong and all that. And it was just spreading like crazy. It was initially reported that some construction workers were working and the sparks ignited the fire, but then there were other people that were just very didn't put caution into throwing away their cigarettes and like fire safeties and all that. So yeah, the media is very careful on pinpointing on who started the fire and such because it has devastated the whole country. There has been more than 26 deaths. I don't know if that's the updated number, but last time I checked, it was like that. And it has burnt down like massive hectares of land. From what I've seen last time, it was like the equivalent of tens and thousands of football fields. So that is crazy. That is definitely not good for our country. So if you can, please pray for Korea. There are multiple channels where you can support as well. My mom and I have already donated to one of the funds that were shown on the news. So yeah, if you just Google search, there are multiple organizations you could donate to. But yeah. Anyways, the fires have been now extinguished. There are little seeds of embers left, but I feel like now it's all gone because it's been snowing and a little bit of rain has come too. So yeah, hopefully it gets 100% extinguished and we don't have any casualties. Or a lot of cultural heritages have been burnt down as well, so that is crazy. Yeah, so it's very, very tragic, but life has to go on, right? So the best we can do is support. And actually, a lot of K-pop idols and celebrities have stepped up with their personal funds, and they've donated to multiple donations. So yeah, if you see over here, actually I've prepared something. Like if you want to donate for real, there are multiple organizations, trustworthy organizations you can donate to, like Kakao Together. You can stop the screen later and check it out. Naver, Happy Bean, Hope Bridge, Fire Officials Credit Union, the Beautiful Foundation, all these kind of things. They're all very credible places. They're all very big organizations, so you don't have to worry of your money like getting ripped off or anything. So yeah, and actually a lot of celebrities, especially King Jungkook, has donated so much money. Yeah, look at all these. $30,000, 60,000, 70,000. All of these celebrities, they're all stepping up, doing what they can. Jisoo 100K, Jungkook 1억. Look at all these zeros. 680,000 USD. That is crazy. And of course, the list goes on. There's it's never ending. There's no point pointing out everyone here. RM, Jenny, Chaehoon, Rise, G-Dragon. G-Dragon did a massive amount as well. So, mad respect to them. This is totally something random, but I just thought if we were going to cover news today, this was pretty interesting. Cardi B's love towards Korean products. But anyways, that's unrelated. But yeah, massive aid and financial donations happening throughout the entertainment sector. A lot of respect for them. And the most stupid thing I'm seeing on the internet right now is these unnecessary fan wars. I don't even think it's fan wars, but oh, my idol donated more, like your idol's under my idol, all that kind of stuff. Oh, why don't you donate? Why isn't Son Heung-min donating when he's earning this much a week, and all that kind of stupid buzz. So yeah, donating is not an obligation. It's good if you can do, and the amount, you don't have to, everyone has their different situations, financial situations, even for celebrities. So we can't really pressure celebrities to mandatorily donate for these kind of causes. Every single cause, if you put that logic, then they'll be bankrupt, right? So just be grateful and accepting towards these celebrities that have actually stepped up and donated. Mad respect, especially Jungkook. I think he's the biggest donor so far in the entertainment scene. So mad respect for him, but that doesn't undervalue the $30,000. $30,000, that's a lot. How dare some people undermine that amount of money? Have they even donated $10 in their life? I wonder, right? So yeah, the amount doesn't matter. It's the intent, and it's the cause itself, and it's the word that spreads, the positivity, and the actual aid that is provided. So respect to all these celebrities and all these people donating. And as I told you, my mom and I donated a small amount to the wildfire cause. And I think every Korean out there has pretty much donated a little bit. They've been putting it up on Instagram. I think it's a little, as much as you can verify, we call it 인증. It's just a cute way of putting up a receipt of I donated this much. And also you can, some people will think highly of you, and you can get some compliments and all that. But I just think that's a little sometimes not my taste. Yeah, I just don't like that kind of stuff. So if you donate, you donate, right? Yeah, so do what you can, right? Ivika, David, you look great today. Thank you so much. Hope it gets better. Thank you, Finn. I always have respect for people who even donate just $1, because sometimes that's all they can afford. Exactly, but they want to help. What matters is the heart. Exactly. Yeah, so I will admit I didn't donate more than definitely not in the thousands. Yeah, I donated what I could afford, and as much as I wanted to do more, everyone's having their own battle and struggle with daily life and all that. So it's not for some people it's a luxury to donate for causes like wildfires and all. So yeah, even a $5 donation helps. Exactly, that's the power of fundraising and donations, right? If everyone in the country just donated a single dollar, that would already be $50 million, right? That's crazy. So yeah, mm-hmm. Right. Every donation helps, no matter how big or small. I donate to rescue animals from animal America's kill shelters, and it's a lot. Yeah. So like even like everyone has their own causes that they want to help or support, and like this one isn't more important than this one. This one doesn't get more priority than this one. Um, not to you know what, let me not say it, but like I've seen even on the wildfire donation posts, like some international people are like, what about this though, like why aren't you donating to this though, like yeah, those kind of comments kind of trigger me. But yeah, the weather in Korea right now is very weird. Why every time I've seen last LA fire and this Korean fire, they take action too late when it's go out of hand? Why? Yeah, so there are, there are a lot of people, kind of concerned about like the late actions and all that. But I did see some interviews. I'm no expert or anything, but just based on the news interviews I've seen, the firefighters and the experts come out and say it's actually not that easy, right? So they're doing whatever they can around the clock to like they're utilizing all the helicopters and the service workers, the civil servants, and everyone's just stepping up. The community is all volunteering, but like I can't imagine. But what they say is like you can't even go near the mountain because like of the super hot heat waves. Like you'll get burnt. So yeah, it just takes extreme caution, and to take safety measures, it takes time. It takes time, and human lives and are prioritized over anything. Like losing our trees and all that is very painful, but losing a person is like more painful. Yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of procedures in it, and it's just sad that the wildfire has been spreading so long for a long time and throughout the whole nation. But yeah, we have to take safety measures and all that, right? Did you guys hear about the earthquake in Thailand? Yeah, that was crazy too. I saw some footage and like a gigantuous building just literally collapsed. It was like 7.7, and I think the core of the earthquake was from Myanmar. And I saw some like footages of travelers or tourists at their infinity pools, at their hotels, at like high-rise buildings, and the pools were all like flowing over to like the sunbeds, and there were cracks in massive buildings and stuff, and people were terrified. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I hope Thailand isn't affected that much as well. Bangkok, yeah. Yeah. Those who have lived in Cali fires must relate to what's going on. Exactly. Yes, but yeah, the wildfires have been taken care of at this moment. It is now almost gone. So that's one good thing. But on a happier note, let's just talk in general about, Korea, Korean culture, my life, and all that. Who wants to start with an interesting question while I open this pack of chagabis with wasabi potatoes? Just got it from the convenience store. Yeah, it was a long day for me. I actually filmed 2 episodes of KPC today in the studio. Like nowadays, I'm working super hard. Last week, I filmed 2 episodes as well with Daniel, with Serena, with Gina Kim. This week it was with Tiffany from Ramen and Chill, and then Uni, she's like a content creator, and there's also Hannah. I think her handle was Hannah Banana. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of Anna Banana, but yeah, content creators today. Last week was about hustle culture. This week was about working as a 9-to-5 corporate worker in Korea. It was very hard to actually secure those guests because like there aren't a lot of English speaking but Korean corporate working people. Yeah, I've always gotten the criticism maybe or like feedback from people like whenever we talk about work experience in Korea. there were a lot of the audiences saying like, oh, like we would like to hear from, normal job people rather than influencers or models or English teachers and stuff. So this time I tried really hard to get, people that work in software developing, K-beauty, marketing. So yeah, you'll get a look into that. When will be the episodes live? I'm working on it right now. So it's gonna be weekly uploads, I guess. I have extra motive to do episodes now, because like you might have noticed something on the top over here. So very gratefully, I got selected for this program. It's like a content creator supporter program from the Gyeonggi province, and I got selected for it. KPC got selected for it. They recognize the value of my content. So what they basically do is they support your content with funds, but I have to, in exchange, I have to put these logos on my my videos, and yeah, small amount of money. There's of course there's a cap, so there's like 3 sessions of evaluations. If I pass the first one, they increase the amount of funds. So like right now 40 teams were selected, and the second round only 20 teams advance, and then the third round only 5 teams remain. My goal, of course, being like a amazing content creator and passionate, skilled one, is going into the top 5. It's going to be very hard competition, but in the meantime, the goal is to get as many videos out with this logo and as many views and as many watch time. Those are the quantitative, measurements. So yeah, from now on, I'm gonna be putting this logo onto all of my lives, all of my podcasts, and I think I have an upper hand because, like, the live streams and podcasts are like 50 minutes, 2 hours long. So I definitely have an upper hand advantage in watch time. But then when it gets to views and subscriber growth and all that, I'll have to like work harder. So gonna be pumping out shorts, doing all these strategic approaches. But since there's a lot of motivation, I'm down for it. Like I guess human beings need motivation and like competition in order to like push themselves to the limit, right? So expect more content. You got this. Thank you. Yay. Do you know how many people are participating? Oh, as I said, I think more than like 200 teams applied, and 440 people were selected for the first batch. Yep. But then I gotta go to like mentoring sessions, networking sessions. They're obligated, and then I have to register my office in the Gyeonggi province. Also, there's another rule that I have to make 1 video per session about like Gyeonggi province's, I don't know, festivals or policies or good stuff about Gyeonggi-do. So yeah, it's a good program. I think it's very good to have like this kind of support system for content creators. Thank you, Shireen. Could you tell us in what days can we expect the following live streams? I know, I'm so sorry about this. I want to apologize because I haven't been consistent and regular with the stream dates. So a lot of people are caught off guard, or they don't know when to expect it. But I'll be totally honest with my situation right now. As you might know already, my life is pretty hectic, and like I'm trying to juggle everything at once. There's always like a bottleneck. My GPU isn't able to handle, my CPU it's like too clogged to handle all these kind of things. And emergencies happen. There's always like offline meetings during the daytime, and like I have deliverables. Next week I need to edit like a Singapore vlog and whatever until next week, and there are deadlines. There are like government subsidiary programs I need to apply for until like Wednesday. So when those things get in the way, like, live streams, I have to like give up on. So as much as I try to be regular, some things happen in life and it's just hard. But in general, I try to do my live streams every like Tuesday or Wednesday, 10 a.m. KST. Those used to be the regular times, and the chill lives on the weekends at midnight KST or 1 a.m. like today. You prefer random streaming? Okay. Yeah, the good thing about random streaming is that I get to access and talk to a more diverse audience, because not that I don't like the regulars. Of course, I appreciate the regulars the most, of course. I'm so thankful for your company and viewership, but when I just do it on like random times, sometimes like, oh, I haven't seen this username before. Like, it's good to interact in a while, right? I'm not too fussed with you reviving DKDKTV. I feel blessed. Yeah, so yesterday I pulled an all-nighter editing DK News as well, and the Patreon after show over there as well. So, I have a ton of things going on. I don't know why I'm working this hard, but someday I hope it all gets rewarded. Yeah. I don't mind the random lives because I'm busy as you. That's good. Busy is good, right? Any update on The Office? Oh, yeah. So, you know what? Oh, like three men actually visited 2 times, and they were really satisfied with the place. They were actually a production crew, video editing and all that. So I was like, perfect. Like the tenant before was also in production. I'm also in like video making. You guys, it's the perfect space, right? So they really liked it. The rent here is relatively very cheap. So I thought it was almost like a closed deal. Even the realtor was like, yeah, I think they're going to do it. So I was like really excited, but they came for a 3rd time, and don't get me wrong, I am not a misogynistic person, okay? But other than the 3 people, 1 woman, like I think it's a coworker, like a female coworker came this time with them. And the guys were just like there, like crossing their arms, and the female worker was like, going around and seeing stuff, and she's like, okay, well, that looks good. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, maybe they just wanted to show how the place looks like to their female coworker. And then I called the realtor and said, oh, she didn't like it. Maybe she was the boss. Maybe, I don't know. Like, maybe they're all co-founders. But I was like, dude, did you hear what the reason is? And like, she was like, how this is what the realtor said, okay? You know how boys don't really care about aesthetics, and how the location, and like how this place is in front of a traditional market and all that. It's not a bougie place. Like, this is in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. And the cheap price is good. But then she explained like the woman who came by, she didn't really like the vibe. She thought it was kind of like dirty. It was like too bland, and there's nothing around here. She kind of prefers like a fancy and cleaner, more populated area. So she was like the I guess like the tipping factor, and it didn't work out. So I'm like, oh dang. So another month of rent is out now. So I gotta make it to the best of use. So now I'm pumping out content, calling more guests. Actually, next week I am planning to do another session as well. From people I met at the Gyeonggi-do content creator, OT, the orientation. There was one girl that was very interested in appearing on my channel, and yeah, I think she's gonna be on it. And we're gonna be talking about fun topics as well. Yeah. Bummer, right? Yeah. You prefer old marketplaces instead of fancy alleys? Yeah, like, so guys usually, they're like, whatever. Like, if it's cheap, if it's affordable, it's good. Like, it's okay for the place to be like a 10-minute walk from the subway station, not a lot of restaurants in front. Like, it's kind of in the alley, but then safety and like, surroundings and the vibes are very important for some people as well. So I understand. Anticipating seeing KPC with Gina Kim as a guest. When is that scheduled? I'll try to edit that within this week if I can, because until Wednesday, there's a big government program I have to apply for. It's video content related, so I'll probably be sleep deprived until like Thursday. I'll probably be catching up on sleep on Thursday. So probably after Friday. Yeah. Tapping into a different audience is always a benefit. Yeah. And K-Stosh, thank you so much, cuz like I don't know if you're comfortable if I say this on live, but like Daniel, we talked after the podcast, and I treated them some good like beef and pork belly and all that, but he was like, oh, Stosh watches my streams too, and she recommended going on KPC. And we had an agreement before, like we met at Anna's birthday party initially, and we introduced ourselves, and we were like, yeah, we should invite each other on each of our pods and streams. But that got like delayed and postponed, and you know how life goes on. But like you gave the extra push, and he reached out, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I was in like, you know, Singapore and like all that. So, Daniel's gonna be on the pod. Tomorrow's the Kim Soo-hyun press conference. Oh, I wonder what he's gonna say. Is he actually gonna appear like physically? I don't know, or his legal representatives. Random question: you mentioned about Korean lacking Japanese. What Koreans think of China and Chinese people? Just curious. Okay, I'll get to that. Hello, Rachel. I'm so glad it finally worked out. Yeah, we had a great time, and I love, like, what I also love about hosting podcasts is that I get to connect people as well. So I think Daniel made a really good connection with Serena that day, which we all dined out together, and I think he's willing to get her on the pod as well. Gina had like a what do you call it? 선약 in English, like 약속. This word every time. Like she had an appointment. No, not an appointment. A meeting. No, not a meeting. Just a dinner, I guess. Yeah, a dinner planned already, so she had to go and she couldn't join us. But yeah, we connected really well. And today, even Tiffany and Uni, they ate together, and Hannah, all three of them live in Gangnam, so they were like, oh, we should definitely like, you know, meet up in Gangnam. And then I joked like, what about me though? Like, why are you excluding me? And then they all laughed. It's like, oh, definitely you were just included as a premise. But I was like, I don't think so. You want to have like girls' night out without me, and you're excluding me because I'm freaking old. No, that's just my anxiety, insecurity. But yeah. You recently saw Anna on Studio H. Yeah, Studio H is actually produced. I think it's produced by Tammy, our ex-editor on DKDKTV. She's really talented. She was on the recent pod for KPC as well, if you have seen that, like the 20s to 30s concerns in Korea, and the DKDK Exposed podcast. Tammy was on it, and she works for the Korea Herald, and I think she's the producer of that pod, and she's really nice. She's really good, well-spoken. So go check out Studio H as well. I haven't checked out Anna's episode. I don't know if it was entertaining or not, but yeah. Yes, he mentioned that to me. He really enjoyed the whole experience and wants to have you do a podcast with him someday. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I already said, like, please invite me to your pod, you know. And about the China question. So, yeah, Korean people like Japanese people a lot. I don't think people have, like, I'll be totally honest, I don't think Korean people have anything in general, like anything personal or anything about Chinese people. But it's just that, of course, on the first layer of things, there's a lot of geopolitical situations that we're not comfortable with China, especially the Chinese government. So definitely there's a layer of a little hate over there against the CCP. Everything, like, they're the opposite of what we stand for in our country. So that's one thing. There's the fine dust that's blowing over. So there's definitely like a negative stereotype upon like China as a government and like as a country. And I think that exists to some extent in all countries out there, especially America or like the free world. Yeah, but then other than that, of course there are amazing Chinese people. I have a lot of Chinese friends too. Danny's like, girlfriend is Chinese, like she's a wonderful person. Tiffany today was Chinese. She's Hong Kong Chinese though. But anyways, yeah, like individually, there's nothing to say much about like a certain ethnicity because like you can't box them all in. But I think there is a negative stereotype upon Chinese tourists in general, not the ones that come in 2 or 3, groups, little groups, the ones that come in big groups with like groups of 50 people or like 30 people. You can see a lot of Chinese tourists near like the Royal Palace or Myeongdong or, restaurants and tourist areas or in the airport, and there's a lot of negative stigma upon them because maybe it's a group effect, but they're just very very loud, very don't regard public manner that much. Sometimes there are activities that make people frown upon. So because of that stereotype and stigma, I think there is a little bit of anti-Chinese sentiment here. Also, there's another it's not an ethnicity, but like Korean people that live above North Korea in like the Yeonbyeon area. They're called 조선족. I'm not sure if it's a derogatory term or not. I think it's pretty technical. They're just called people like 조선족. And a lot of that population, they use Chinese and Korean back and forth, and they are Chinese residents because like they are Chinese citizens because they live in China, right? And across the border. But a lot of them cross over to Korea and they have their own like little 조선족 Chinatown, semi-Chinatown places. If you go to neighborhoods like Daerim or Sinrim, somewhere around there. Daerim is like the most prevalent one, and then you go to Incheon. There are Chinatowns there, and you will see 조선족 people. But there's a lot of like stereotypes upon 조선족 people as well, that they're scary. There are a lot of like crazy fights that go in those streets over there. Some people even allege that 조선족s are behind a lot of like human trafficking, a lot of like call centers that try to scam people. Usually if you hear them, their like accents are very distinguishable in like the Chinese 조선족 accent, Korean accent. So because like these little things pile up, there is definitely, I will not sugarcoat it, there is definitely like an anti-Chinese sentiment in Korea. But as I told you, it doesn't apply to every single individual out there. And of course, like I think probably 1/10 or 1/8 of the population in the whole world is Chinese. So to stereotype, to group them all together, that's pretty stupid. But since you asked, I'm just giving you some of the reasons that why Koreans might not like, that might have like an anti-China sentiment. Yes, but mostly I think the biggest thing is like on the government level. It's just like our government and the Chinese government haven't been friendly, because like quite honestly, we're the smaller country, and what can we do to China, right? We're like the little guys in the corner, just like, talking behind their backs carefully, like, oh, we don't like China, we don't like their government. But on the surface level, China's the one, like, if you technically think, that is bullying Korea, right? They got the bigger economy, they got the population, they got like all the stuff. So they're like, ban Korean products, ban Korean content, just put all your factories on the East Coast, like send over the fine dust to Korea, all that, like support North Korea. So definitely there are geopolitical tensions and political hate towards it, right? So people in Hong Kong recognize themselves as Hong Konger. Yeah, That might be a trigger point, but I was just talking in like ethnicity terms, like Singaporean Chinese, Hong Kong Chinese, all that kind of stuff. So sorry if I triggered you. Yeah. A lot of Koreans love traveling to Shanghai and Beijing, though. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry for the geopolitical bad vibes. It's inevitable. The three countries in Northeast Asia, China, Japan, and Korea, have been fighting for over hundreds and thousands of years, so it's nothing new to us, honestly. Yeah. It's the group effect. People say that about American British tours too. Yeah. I always thought it was just people talking smack about Chinese tourists, but I did witness some poor behavior in Japan. Yeah. Yeah. How about idols from China and K-pop groups? Well, we don't have anything against them, unless they support like Chinese agendas. There was a time when China so about the one China thing, like I'm not going to get into like Chinese politics. I will not judge anything on that. But there is a one China policy which thinks, Hong Kong's already in China now, but like Taiwan and the other regions like Tibet and all the other like minor tribes or like countries, adjacent regions, like China has that policy that we need to unify all those groups together, and that has a lot of backlash internally and internationally as well, right? So when China was pushing that really hard, and there was once a time when all the Chinese K-pop idols were either forced or either voluntarily putting up like one China related posts on social media, on their Weibos or whatever, and that created a very bad sentiment among the Korean public. They were like, wow, you're actually earning your money and stardom in Korea, and you're supporting like an agenda that is totally against our thoughts. So yeah, there was a lot of criticism because of that, but in general we don't care. We love Ning Ning, we love who else, Ugi, we love Shuhua. Yeah. Yeah, Zooey from Twice had to apologize for waving the Taiwan flag back then. So these are the incidents where people get kind of like, oop. I hope the crunching sound isn't bothering you so much. Oh yeah, that was a good question. Any other questions? Oh. Super chats will be appreciated and prioritized. So yesterday, actually, Samsung's what's that? Samsung's chairman, Lee Jae-yong, he went to China and met Xi Jinping, and of course, a lot of other multinational company leaders all were summoned in China. And China is basically doing like a reverse policy to counter American first Trump policies, like how Trump is putting tariffs on non-domestic companies. Like Hyundai went to the States and they're building like a massive factory in, where was it? I forgot the state. But they're building a massive factory there, and Trump said like if it's produced in America, if the cars are manufactured in America, there will be no tariffs for those Hyundai cars. So China is following that, and that's why Xi Jinping invited all of these multinational company leaders to China, and they said the same thing. If you produce your products in China, if you establish a factory over there, then there will be very big tax benefits and all that. So, yeah, I think an economic war is brewing, definitely. And then the Samsung leader was summoned there as well. But as I told you, like in Korea, there's like a lot of anti-China government sentiment. So people are like, "Oh, Samsung, do not go that route. Like if you are going to sell your soul, like sell it to America, like not China." So people just didn't like that picture in general of like Xi Jinping and Lee Jae-yong next side to side. Yeah, it's like, Hyundai knows where to line up to. Like, as much as Trump might be controversial, it's better to side with America because like our political agendas and viewpoints and all that align way better than China, and China's always like kind of backstabbed us in terms of like because they have like a dictatorship over companies and all that, so it's very risky to do business in China actually. Yeah. It's like ASMR, the crunching. Oh, there's a big Samsung factory that's built in Texas. The Hyundai one, I think it's in another state. Yeah. So the Hyundai chairman was actually invited to the Oval Office, and he gave a speech there, and it was on the news for like 2 days straight. Everybody was like, "You're doing a great job, Hyundai." Oh my gosh, the wasabi sting is like so, intense. When does the NewJeans case end? What do you think of the situation? The big trial is on April 3rd, from what I remember. So we have 3 days left, and right now, quite honestly, I don't think they have an advantage. They have a disadvantage after the injunction. So there's a high chance that the court will side with Adore, and I think that's what it is. What it is. Yeah. And they'll have to deal with it because law is law, right? They will probably appeal until the very end, but is that beneficial to them? I'm not sure about that. So, yeah. How hard would you say it is to get into big companies like Samsung and LG in Korea? Have you ever thought of working there? Of course, it's everyone's dream. Go through high school, ace the SAT exam, Suneung exam, go to Sky. If you're not like in the other sectors, like go to Sky Business and go to Samsung, Hyundai, SK, LG, the big ones. Get a big fat salary. That's everyone's dreams. And then the next goal is like get a house, get married. And quite honestly, in my perspective, it's a little bit dull, and I feel a little bad for people that really don't have their own individual dreams, but their whole life dream was always like, those milestones set by our society. But then also in reality, the people that go through that route, the maybe the elite route or like the standard, best route, optimized route, they have good stable lives. So who am I to judge? But yeah, it's I would say it's pretty difficult because like if you just think of the odds, the statistics, only the top of the top make it. Like Samsung's the best company in Korea. So yeah, going to a company like Samsung, Hyundai, SK, LG, Naver, what else are there? Like the Taegyeops. Yeah, those kind of companies, it's extremely hard. Yeah. I might have had a shot because like I have graduated from a not so bad university myself. So if I wanted to, I would have had a shot. A lot of my my friends that were in the same department, like the same major as me in my same school, a lot of them are in Samsung and all those big companies. So yeah, but then I just chose to be a YouTuber. Hey, Katie, thanks so much. I just realized you're eating one of my favorite snacks. Oh, is it? Chagabi is your favorite snack? Oh my gosh, but the wasabi salt is like, the sting is super hard. What did you dream of? First, I dreamt of, I don't know why, I think this was my mom's brainwashing when I was young, but I actually dreamt of being a doctor, but then I found out I was horrible at math. So I think even my mom gave up. So yeah, I got rid of that dream. And I don't think I was really passionate about being a doctor in the first place. So that was my first dream ever. The next one was to become a diplomat, because a lot of people around me, even when I was in like a middle school and high school, told me that I have skills in like talking, mediating, assessing the situation, being like very polite and strategic in situations. I have good like language based skills and all that. I have good English skills. So they were like, oh yeah, you should try to become like a diplomat. And I had like a US background, Canadian and US background. So I did have a taste of living abroad, and compared to Korea, until then I preferred like living in North America. So if I had a chance to live overseas, that would be a good privilege as well. And I like traveling in general. So yeah, I thought that was like a dream job. But then I learned that becoming a diplomat is very, very difficult as well. If I really tried hard and just actually put my 100%, I think I could have made it, because like, back then it was, nowadays you see all these Koreans speaking fluent English and all that, but I am telling you, back then, during my age and like early 2000s, like I was like a unicorn. Nobody spoke English this well. Yeah. I'm not even very proud of my own English skills, but yeah, back then like people were like, "Whoa." Cuz like, why would Korean Americans come to Korea and live when they're living in the land of freedom and opportunity, right? Like there's no reason for them to come back. So I was like a very unique case. And it's not like everybody that crosses over to the States, they don't really automatically pick up the language. So I would say even as a person that has lived in the States, compared to my other friends that have done, 유학 or their studies in the US, they don't speak as good as me. Yeah, they still have the Korean accent. I would say they're pretty good, but not this good. So yeah, back then my mom was like, "Oh yeah, diplomats are very reputable and nice, job, go for it." But then, it required a lot of hard work, and I think I'm not a desk person at the end of the day. So like in order to be a diplomat, you need to go through like rigorous studying and exams and all that. So you need to like put yourself in a box for like a couple years and prepare for the national exam, go through that competition, and I didn't want to sign up for that. So later I found interest in becoming like a K-pop idol. I'm not kidding. I really wanted to become a K-pop idol after watching GD, like Big Bang's debut. I was like a super big fanboy of Big Bang back then in middle school. I watched them debut and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like they're my role models. I want to be like them. And if you think about it, GD's only like 4 years apart from me. So they were like young figures to me. And I was like, wow, like could I be like that in 4 years too? Like once I graduate? And I had that dream of a K-pop idol. So I was like obsessed with K-pop. I was like looking at K-pop music videos when everyone was studying at the library and all that. And yeah, as I told you, I went to a funeral of my dad's friend, and I guess my dad's other friend worked in SM back then, and he was like a casting manager, and then he gave my dad like a card seeing me at the funeral saying like, what, how old is he, how tall is he, like, okay, face looks good, yeah, oh, he speaks English, extra plus. He's like, you're perfect, come to SM, let's train. and I got the card. I was super excited. I mean, SM wasn't my favorite pick. I always loved YG, the YG style. Like SM back then, it was like very XO, TVXQ, Super Junior ish. Not my style. But then like SM still SM, right? So I was like, wow, this is like a Willy Wonka card, and I showed it to my mom, and she was like, psst, psst. It's like, no way you are going to be a K-pop idol or an entertainer. There is no absolutely 0% chance that I am going to allow it. So that went out of the window. And then I guess I always wanted to pursue something related to entertainment and spotlight. So I guess that's why I got motivated in applying to media and journalism. So you can either be like a reporter, announcer, news anchor, or like you could work in adjacent to the entertainment scene as a producer or filmmaker or something like that. So you could be in the spotlight or you could be behind the camera, but you're still in the industry, right? So that's why I chose media communication. Although the major studying itself academically was a very different story. It was very boring. And actually, I got all my editing and filming and all these kind of skills, not via the university courses itself, but like in clubs in universities. I was in a video making club, and afterwards, I was just very into like advertising for a while because I wanted to like create something creative. But that was a phase. And once I actually interned in an advertising agency, I saw the reality of being like in the advertising agency. It's like very, very tough. Whenever I see anybody like a hube of mine talking about entering the advertising agency, I say with my soul and heart, like, don't. Like, it's like the interstellar moment coming from another person. Like, no, go back, don't. Because it is not what you think. If you want to be like a copywriter, maybe, I think becoming a copywriter or a creative director is like the only way you can be actually creative in an advertising agency. Other than that, if you're like an account executive or even if you're like a visual graphics designer or whatever, it's just very, very draining, exploitative. And out of my experience and my secondhand, anecdotes and experiences that I've heard, it's all just like catering towards what the client wants. And even if you're super creative, if the client wants it fixed, you need to fix it like that. You just need to deliver what the client is God was the catchphrase in our agency. Satisfy the client. That's what matters. Your creativity doesn't mean shit. And there's a lot of clients that don't recognize that amount of creativity. They're usually very conservative and they want already proven models. And so they're basically like, oh, if you give them something very innovative and creative, they're like, I don't know about that. Shouldn't we just get like Chaonu on the poster and like make him hold the beer, and wouldn't that be better? And we're like, oh, but like, like nowadays the Gen Z trend is like, raw, whatever, and blah blah blah. And you try to convince them. Maybe some open-minded ones would give you a chance, but then that's a risk for them as well too, because they're putting in marketing budget and they need performances. So the client side doesn't want to take risks. So there's less room for creativity. So they're just like, oh, let's just do like star marketing. Let's put Kim Soo-hyun on the ad, and we have a set amount of like fandom that's gonna support him anyway. So yeah, so it usually goes down the lines like that, and so it was very demotivating for me. I had to pull all-nighters. On top of that, it's a very stressful environment. So all the creative teams, the visual designers and graphic designers, they're always on Photoshop, and they always have like, what do you call this? A bad wrist, and they're always sleep deprived, never go home. So yeah. Anyways, if you want to go into advertising, I'm sorry, but I will not support that. Let's go back into the comments. I've been babbling on for a while. Not that I would ever jinx your content creation career, but what would you want to do if it all ended tomorrow? Um, hmm. I recently, it's totally random, but I actually said this a couple times. I would like to be a pilot. Yeah, because nowadays I'm very anxious about like my current state as being a freelancer, content creator, and business person. Um, it's fun, but the income is like very unstable, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. There's a sustainability issue there, so I'm always like leaning back and forth between sustainability, stability versus like freedom and like multiple incomes and doing what I want. So I was always like, what if I fail? Like, what if I like nobody watches my channel and blah blah blah? And if I were to get a corporate job, what would I do? And as I told you, I couldn't do a desk job because that's just not me. So I don't want a desk job. What do I like? I like traveling. I like to have some kind of freedom, but I want to have like a reputable, high salary job with like a pension plan and all that. And I thought of it and it was like, oh, a pilot. Yeah, I could, fly around, stay in hotels and explore the area, and it's a reputable job. They got high salary, good perks for your family as well. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let's be a pilot, and then maybe do vlogs on the side. So that was a plan. And my friend Alex, he actually was like a media personality and content creator in Korea, and I think I got a lot of influence from him. The initial inspiration came from him. Alex was on my podcast, and I met him. I met up with him in Korea. He's actually got his commercial flight pilot license recently. Congrats to him. But yeah, time flew. He just got it already, and now he can legally fly a plane by himself. And now he's going to apply to like American Airlines or maybe like a Korean Air or like an LCC over here because like his wife is Korean, so they're still figuring out whether they're going to live in the States or Korea. So there's a lot of options, but hearing his stories, it's like pretty good. So yeah. Yeehaw, hoodie gang! Keep them hoodies clean, y'all. Thank you, Nova, for the €2. Pizza. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And could you actually sing? No, my position would be a rapper. Yeah. And I found out later that the team that the casting manager was casting for was EXO, and ironically there's a lot of 92 liners in EXO. There's also a Kyungsu in EXO, which means nothing, but like, in the multiverse I imagine sometimes myself being in a K-pop group. But like nowadays, looking at the life of K-pop idols, if I went into SM, that would be like a guaranteed success check. But there are a lot of pros and cons, and right now I can't even deal with hate comments on YouTube. Like, would I be able to go through all that scrutiny and less privacy of being a K-pop idol? I don't know. But I'm enjoying this like in the middle limbo kind of like, average person, plus having a little bit of a following, so I get like minimal perks and all that. So I like being a YouTuber. Yeah, it's good. Wow, Shireen, thank you so much for the 50. Pizza, thank you so much. I haven't seen a red super chat in a while. Yes, some people goals align with society goals. However, I think finding one's way/goals in life makes life worth living, no matter what age. Like me, I just did a photo shoot for 40 women over 40. Wow. I'll be 60 in October. Sorry for the rambling. No, that's so interesting. Yeah, I just put a thumbs up over there, but yeah, like people should do what they want at the end. It's just such an easy thing to say, but it's hard to achieve. Like, we all have our own realities. Some people are privileged, some people are underprivileged. Some people just have the luxury, more time and all that. But at the end of the day, I think the moral of the story is, within your limits, within your realities, try to find some aspect of that, like whatever you can achieve, something that you like among that, and then try to expand it more and more and more. So like as I told you, like I like traveling, I like to be free, I don't like desk jobs, I want to have a good income and all that, and I mashed it all up, and then it made like the outcome of becoming a pilot, something like that, right? So I'm sure there are things people can do. Like it doesn't even have to be like a job or anything. You could work on the side as like a side gig or just as a hobby. If you like writing novels, you can start writing novels on the internet, and draw. If you like drawing, you could do a webtoon artist or whatever. There's so many things you can do with the internet nowadays. So I think we're a blessed generation. Yeah. But thank you so much, Shireen, again. I was just yapping away, right? Can you dance like EXO? I'm pretty sure nobody dances like that in the start. Like they all get a lot of training for like years and years, 5 years, 7 years, right? But then still there are born dancers and there aren't. So like even among the idols, there are like main dancers and not so good dancers. So I don't know. David would have been like the R&M figure of the group. He'd be the translator. Yeah, that was a big plus. Yeah, the scouter actually said like, "Oh, you got English skills. Okay, that's like already like a position for you." Tinka, thank you so much for the heart and $2. Thank you so much. Pizza. Yeah. Um. An interactive chat interface and no nightbot. Pinch me, please. I give consent. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my chat, but it just got. Yeah, it got destroyed overnight, and I haven't had the time to restore it, so I'm just like doing this over here. What about working at large tech companies in Korea like Google? Is that seen as less prestigious than a company like Samsung? No, no. It's very prestigious, yeah, and I think in some cases they even give you more salaries and better perks as well. So not at all. Yeah, my friend one, Daniel, he works in Google and he's living the life. Yeah, so definitely not. A lot of people actually prefer working in multinational companies like Google or where else, Apple. But then though, like there is a difference between HQ, global team versus like Apple Korea, Google Korea. There are differences for sure in salary caps and the scope of work, but still, like a lot of people like respect that. A lot of my friends that work in media, there was a mass exodus from CJ to Netflix or Disney Plus, all multinational companies. But there's a difference between Netflix. I don't know where the HQ is. I think it's in LA, California versus Netflix Korea. There's only so much you can do in the Korean sector. You're probably, well, Netflix Korea is pretty big because like there's a lot of Korean content that are bangers on Netflix. So I would say that's a different example. But yeah, so I know some people that work at major dating app companies like Tinder. The mother company is called Match, I think. They own like Tinder, Hinge, and other companies as well. I know some people that work in APAC, HQ, Tinder. Sebomi, she was on. Oh, am I allowed to say this? Oh, but she has it on her profile, anyways. But yeah, she used to work there as the APAC manager, and she had great perks, good salary. She was living her life remote in Bali and all that. So yeah, that's all good. I work for. It's not like a conglomerate or anything, but I work for a multinational company. Yeah, it is a company, right? One of the biggest franchises in the world. Oh yeah. If you don't know, look at my T-shirt over here. One of the perks. Yeah, one of the perks. Shh. Yeah, yeah. I'm not that vocal about it because by the book, I'm not allowed to advertise it all over the world that I'm like, working for a particular somebody, right? So yeah, and a lot of people give me respect for my position as well. Traveling to Texas made you an international YouTuber. Yeah, I thought you meant YouTube. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I'm a platform worker in terms of YouTube, right? There's a word called platform worker, but nah, then that would mean like a delivery worker for Uber Eats would be like an Uber employee, so not that. Yeah. Bella has done really well. DKDKTV is a talent incubator. Yeah, I mean, like, we're a talent incubator, but at the same time, they are brilliant and talented individuals themselves. And I guess they saw something in us and they applied for our company, right? So Tammy, she's killing it in Korea Herald. Bella, I don't know what the other ex-editors are doing. I think Juwon is still making her own content in the Philippines region. I think Sarah got married and she has a baby. Juun, she works at like a animation company, I think. So yeah, I really want to hire an editor, but like, how was I so lucky back then? Like, how did I find these people that are bilingual and were up to do the job? Yeah, I am really willing to pay for a full-time editor right now, but I just can't find someone that is physically in. There are so many boxes to be checked. Has to be physically in Korea, has to be able to work full-time, has to speak Korean and English because you got to understand like the nuances and you got to be able to research the proper, pictures and verify, cross-check like the dates and all that, fact-checked. You got to understand what I'm saying along with Danny. You got to have editing skills, bright on trends, experimental. So all these traits and all these qualifications. And then also, I got to be totally honest. I'm not going to give like a massive salary, right? So it's going to be in that level of like, entry level corporate worker. So there's a very big discrepancy in like, if you have these amount of abilities, why would you want to be like an editor, right? So I think we were just very lucky because all of our editors back then they were in their like intermission kind of phases. They were like at their ends of like college and job seeking and all that, so it might as well, it's fun to work in a YouTube channel even though it's like not that much pay and all that. So, and they were like conveniently Korean American, so yeah, I was very lucky. But nowadays, like, it's just so hard to find anybody that ticks all those boxes. Tammy's amazing. The videos on DKDK is a welcome update to see how well she's doing. Yeah, right. Have you drunk your face in ice water today for your morning routine? No, I have not. That's a weird question. Why? Pure David charisma. The Kyungsu-chan, what? Yeah. You got the Riz, the top tier talent. What's going on there, Patrick? I don't know what you're saying. Have you advertised? Is this that difficult? Yeah, like as I told you, there are so many things, so many qualifications you have to qualify for, but the pay isn't that big, quite honestly. And the work is pretty hard. Like, you underestimate editing, but like it is a painstaking process. It's a boring and painstaking process. I wouldn't recommend you go into video production or anything like that, as well as advertising. Yeah. With the film economy being so crappy in Korea, you can't find unemployed talent right now. I can't, so if I were a Korean YouTuber, there would be like plenty of people lined up to become like an editor for a YouTube channel that's willing to pay like a nice salary. But the problem is you got to be bilingual. That's the first hurdle there. And that is not easy. Yeah. Because like in Korea, if you speak fluent English, that is that's already a big premium. So might as well use that skill set to go into a better global company like Google or whatever and use those English skills like better ROI than becoming like an editor for an independent YouTube channel, right? So it's just very hard in those kind of aspects. Yeah. It's not a joke that, a lot of people, you know what? Like I'll be totally honest with you guys. Yeah, like not to look down upon or anything. This is just an alternative option. For real, if you just feel kind of hopeless, you don't know what you're doing with your life, if you want a refreshment or you just want to experiment for like a year or so, you just like Korea in general, if you speak native English, preferably the North American accent or the UK, I don't know, preferably North American accent. If you have flawless English, just fly over to Korea. You can be an English teacher with the right, skills and like preparation. It's not that big of a hurdle. And try it out. You could even go to Japan or Korea, but like speaking English is a like big premium in Korea, I'm telling you. And that's why being American or like a native English speaker is such a big benefit, a privilege. So like worst case scenario, let's say you lose your job in the States. You could literally just fly over to Korea and start teaching English and make bank. Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, I guess like it's debatable on whether you'll make bank. If it depends on whether you go to public school or private academies or you do private tutoring or all that. There are different tiers. You could go into like a company, a big company, and like make textbooks and become like a star educator and all that. I have a lot of friends that are like that, and they are making bank teaching English. So yeah, that is an option for sure. UK accent carries a premium in the US. Oh, really? Okay. maybe try to find a Korean American. That's not easy. I'm telling you. Yeah. A lot of American meme jokes that I thought you would get, but you didn't get it, and it wasn't funny as I thought. Yeah, I am not that like, patched into American meme culture and all that. Yeah, Uncle David definitely not a dancer part, but it can be another K-pop leader manager. Yeah, yeah. In 2 years, many will be fed up with the corporate life. Yeah, I can see that. RNC editing burnt you out. Yes, that's true. I have flawless UK English. What's the salary like? I think there would be definitely a niche. In the Korean market, like I've seen some people, especially go out of their way and search for like a UK accent English teacher, but that's a few. Like most of the people want the North American accent, like mine. So that's why whenever they hear me speak English, they're like, "Oh, 영어 왜 이렇게?" Why am I speaking like this? 영어 왜 이렇게 잘해요? 어디서 배웠어요? 뭐 너무 미국인 같다. Something like that. Yeah. What is bank in my opinion? My standards are very low. So if you're earning over 100K per year, then that's bank for me. Yeah. But then it's different in, I guess, different country standards, right? Like I know a lot of people might be making more than 100K in their corporate jobs in the US if you have like a decent, nice job and you've been working for over like 5 to 10 years, maybe. But then the number 1억, which is like the equivalent of 70K or something in Korea, is like a threshold for whether you're successful in corporate or not. If you probably work in Samsung for a couple, like 5 to 10, in that middle, if you're promoted well, 5 to 10 years, you might be able to reach that salary of 100K. But in USD, then it would be like 150K in Korean won value. So still, that's a lot. But then you have to consider like the balancing off like the living cost and whatever. So the best thing is to have a remote American or whatever multinational job that pays in a better currency like the euro or whatever, and come to Korea and living with the Korean living costs. That's great. Yeah. Why don't you ask Anna or her sibling to be your editor? Still confused. Why would Anna edit my videos? She's making more money than I am. Like, why would she go through all the like hours and nights of editing? Yeah, and her sibling, I don't know about her sibling, but like I think her brother is also in corporate as well. So, yeah. It has to I only think like I could find someone who's in college that is broke and that wants some kind of experience, some kind of fun, and is willing to learn, but is Korean, happens to be Korean American. I only think that's literally the only kind of option that I have if I were to hire an editor. Yeah, yeah, and I can't work remote, so I can't hire someone in the U.S. or yeah anywhere else. I've said this before, but I personally do not prefer remote working because many people might beg to differ, but I definitely think there is like a lag. There's definitely a lag in communication. There's no instant communication, and for things like editing, you gotta be very detailed, and it's just very complicated to explain. Like, oh, could you like edit this part out and add this to the screen, like and try to like show them how to do it on Premiere Pro. So you got to be next to each other so I can go to their desk and actually explain it to them, or to point at the parts. Like, I don't want to be typing on Slack like, so on the right upper side, like make the font this and like this size, and it's just like so it's pointless. Like, if you're just next to each other, like, oh, this big, this font, oh, let me show you this, like you can do that. And they even file transferring, like if you're working remote, you have to upload it on Google Drive, and it takes like 30 minutes to download it, and there's always like a latency problem with remote work. That's why I'm not like a big fan of remote work in general. Yeah, even for the work I'm doing right now, there are some sectors of a line of work that remote work doesn't affect, but especially in video production or anything creative, I don't think remote work is that efficient. So I need someone physically coming to the office, at least in Korea, at least, so I can like, oh, here's the SD card, just work with this, help me film at the office. Yeah. 100K is insanely banked for the Netherlands. I only make 45K a year. That's still a lot. 45K a year in Korea. I'm telling you, that's like a lot. But as I told you, bank means like somewhat successful, somewhat rich, right? In my standards. So 100K salary a year. But the thing is, I called it low standards because it's not like unreachable. Like, if you grind, if you work hard enough, if you work enough years, it's a feasible amount of salary. It's not like unobtainable, right? It's there, but it's hard to achieve. That's why I call it bank. But then, like, if you go to the business realm, or like if you compare it to like athletes or whatever, then it might look like a small amount. But if to the average and normal person, then it is big money, right? Yeah. Honestly, if nationality wasn't an issue, I would have become an English teacher in Korea a long time ago. Yeah, I'm telling you, there are preferences of nationalities, accents in the Korean English teaching scene. That is why U.S. citizens are very, very much preferred. Yeah. I've left corporate life for some years, but planning to go back as I'm interviewing for a good job opening that could be an important turning point for my career. Fighting on that. Fighting. You can make a video call. Oh no, like why do I have to? I'm so sorry for like pro remote workers, but why do I have to like go through this and like show it on the screen and like do all that? For what? Like, for decades of years, like humankind, I'm not like saying let's not advance and like let's not change or anything, but there are literally just more efficient kind of things. And we've been working all together in the office. Instant communication is the best thing, and also there are misunderstandings over like text as well. That's a common problem I've encountered. So like I'm just being myself. I'm like, could you please do this by this time? And then later I hear some rumors like, oh, like why is he so like bossy and like why is he so cold and all that. I'm just like, if the person were next to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, could you do this please? And like there wouldn't be any problem. But then there are issues with text, and also there's time differences. And as a remote worker myself, I know for a fact, as a matter of fact, let's put our hands on our heart. Like we go to the kitchen, we get some food, we munch on it. Sometimes we work on the sofa, sometimes we have the TV on. We are tempted. There are a lot of temptations around us that gets us sidetracked and lowers efficiency and all that. Yeah, like when I'm working remote, it's the best thing in the world because like I can like, okay, like I know the deadlines until then. Like during the meeting, like if they're saying something irrelevant, I'm just putting up a YouTube video on the side and just like enjoying it. And then, oh yeah, that part's done. Okay, let me go back to the video call and all that. But then, you know, principally, that's kind of wrong, right? You know, yeah. So some people might argue like if it doesn't, if the video call or if the meeting doesn't need your attention, then like why do it in the first place? But then, you know, some people value like value the full attention of all employees and getting synced as a company level, and that boosts efficiency. And that's the mindset of like an owner or a CEO. Like they don't want to talk about it twice. They want like everyone to be updated about the situation and all that. And yeah, it might be a me problem, but I've seen a lot of my friends too that are honestly just like, you know, entertaining themselves on the side. I see some of my friends play like League of Legends while they're like on company meetings and during office hours and all that. So yeah, some of you might say, look, no, I'm a responsible, accountable person. I do not get distracted in anything during my remote work hours. I'm fully attentive. And just on Microsoft Word, I don't get distracted or anything. Whereas there are some people in the world where I know, which I know personally, that are playing games, that are scratching their balls on the sofa, sleeping, and when the alarm like notification bell rings, they get up and then start working. So yeah. Anyways, there are pros and cons, and I personally prefer remote because I'm an employee at the end. But I switch back and forth between employee and employer, right? But as an employee, I like remote work because I can take advantage of it. And I love my remote work life because I'm a digital nomad in essence, and I can travel the world. And I could work in Thailand, I can work in Korea and the US, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years right now. I've never been off the grid for remote work for my other job when I was in the US and all that. I've been doing all the voice calls, but sometimes I was in the desert, or sometimes I was in the airplane, the airport and all that. So it gives you a lot of freedom, and as long as you do your job, it's okay. But as an employer, it's a different story, because like you're paying them and you want to get max efficiency and performance out of them. But imagine if you're like, you find out like you paid that person this much money, but they're getting a suntan and there was like this famous Gen Z. I don't know if this is like a skit or not, but there's like during a company meeting, a Zoom meeting. Let's say this person's name is Zoe. So like, oh, Zoe, are you listening? Or do you have an update on the PPT slide for tomorrow? And she's like, oh, yeah, I got it ready. It's going to be do like I'm gonna submit it in like a couple minutes, and the manager was like, oh, can you turn on your camera for a while, because like, I would like your full attention, and would like to talk to you face to face. And then she turned on her camera, and she was like in like a suntan, what do you call it, capsule or something. And then people were like, oh my gosh. And she was like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm here. And then the manager was like, excuse me, where are you right now? I'm getting my tan. And then she was like, why are you so like confident about that? And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get the slides right after this like tan, right? Like it honestly, technically, it doesn't hinder my ability to communicate you right now, right? So when I saw that, I was like, am I too old, or is it my problem? That's an extreme case, I would have to say, though. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing lately about foreigners in Korea feeling like they want to leave because they will never be accepted by native Koreans. Do you find this true? Okay, let me talk about that after I wrap up this whole remote work thing. True, I'm more productive in the office than work. I work remotely for 10 years, but very effectively, but agree it's not for everyone. Yeah. Um, Everything I do is tracked. I can't waste any time when I'm working. All I do is work. If wow, that's a big level of like, surveillance, maybe, if you say it in a negative term. But like most of the companies don't have the resources to like micro track or control what their employees are doing in remote work settings. Yeah. I'm less productive in the office, so coffee and bathroom visit. So many coffee, bathroom visit, and neighbor breaks. At home, I'm comfortable and just work while doing all of that. TMI, yeah. Yep. So I think it's a very big difference between employer and employee mindset, and I get both sides. And I prefer remote work as an employee too. Like, who wouldn't though? Who wouldn't? You know, before COVID, nobody even got the taste of this because it was unthinkable. But now that everyone's got that juicy taste, they don't want to go back. To simply put, um, not scratchy balls. Thanks for the visual. Uh, uh, yeah. The same remote workers are the ones who are getting fired. Management eventually gets wind of what they're not doing. I think I'm good at covering my tracks. Is this foreshadowing that I'm gonna get fired in a while? But like I'm very like, like the style I do for remote work is like, normally it's very project and task based. So we get like a task allocated for us for the week. So ideally we would like spread it out throughout the whole week, and like, do whatever work, like 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours per day or something like that. But I'm just like, whenever I get like the brief for in the company meeting, like, okay, this is what I have to do for this week. I allocate like a big chunk of like, even though it's, like, it might be overnight or whatever. Like, I just tackle that task in one go, finish it in like 1 or 2 days, and then like submit it early. No, I actually don't submit it early. I pretend that I'm working throughout the whole week. So I finish my job at Monday to Tuesday because like I'm an efficient worker. I can like cram all my stuff. And then during the Wednesday, Thursday, oh shit, I shouldn't be saying this. But oh shit. You get what I'm saying, right? And then when the due date comes, like I'm like, oh, uploaded, it's there. Oh shit, maybe I should delete this. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I get my work done, right? It's never been quality. It's the quality. The QCs have always been flawless and satisfied. So, yeah. I did not lose weight. Thank you, though. But anyways, this all goes back to the topic of like, I would like an editor, but it's super hard to find someone that fits all the qualifications that I'm looking for and is okay with that pay. But to answer K-Stosh's question again, yes, there are a lot of foreigners that want to leave Korea because they'll never be accepted. But I want to provide you a different point of view. Actually, I can't. I think it was my friend Vaughn. So Vaughn was on my YouTube channel for a podcast, and I think, okay, there might be a general atmosphere like that. I'm not denying that, Korea is a homogenous country. There's still a lot of like unfamiliarity towards foreigners. There's a language barrier for sure. There are certain cultural nuances that can't be overcome. So yeah, definitely, like, premise wise, of course, some people are not going to fit in that well. But I once saw this short by Vaughn. He made it on his Instagram, and he was like, he was talking about the exact same matter. And he was like, I know a lot of friends that live in Korea, and they feel like they don't fit, and Koreans don't accept them truly as one of them. And what he was saying was, I don't want to twist his words, but how I got it was like, it's how you like see the problem as, like, how you deal with it. It's like, if you are open-minded and you accept that there will be boundaries, there will be barriers and differences, and you try to penetrate it, you're proactive, you try to network and go to communities and like do this and that. If you fail, maybe try another route and like try to have close friends, like small groups, whatever. And yeah, all that. Learn the language, try to assimilate. And what he was basically saying was, like, he feels like, he's included here because, like, he does a lot of extra effort, and he knows a lot of friends that do that as well. Like, they learn the culture, they learn the language, they like the food, they like the drinking, hangouts, and all that. But then, like, he's seen a lot of foreigners saying, like, oh, this is weird. Like, why do I have to learn this language? Oh, I think my language level is okay to this point. I don't like the drinking culture. I don't like hwaeshiks. Stuff like that. If you have that kind of mindset, it's gonna be hard for you. So, like, this kind of sounds like a simplified version. It kind of comes down to, like, it's a you problem, but I don't want to simplify it as that because, like, culture is just very nuanced and very sophisticated. So yeah, even for myself, and I've thought of like going to Japan and living there, and I've simulated if whether I could be accepted fully as a person over there. Then first of all, I would have to learn the language first, right? And I would have to, not only the language, but you have to like update yourself on the cultural nuances. Like, yeah, like when I see certain foreigners over here that are very, very Koreanized, like, okay, so I was working with, let's say Tyler and Needy. They're the founders of Hangul Gwaja. They speak better Korean than some Korean Americans, and they have all the mannerisms. They like bow and, like, they know all the respectful words. They know how to act in certain atmospheres and all that. And they have very close friends in Korean communities and all that. So I think it's a matter of perspective and approach and your mindset. But I don't want to, like, shove away the fact that, like, yeah, Korean people, some of them are very racist. No matter how much you try, you'll never fully be one of them. There are people like that, but I feel like if you're in a different country, then, you're the one that has to, like, put extra effort into it. Like, there's always going to be a disadvantage. And if you're not up for the battle, then it's going to be very hard. And it's very different than, like, multicultural melting pots like the US or, other cities around the world, right? We're like a homogenous country at its core. And even in the US, maybe I've heard a lot of, like, Korean people that have immigrated there. Like, even though they speak, like, flawless English, they've grown up there and all that, some of them still say like I still feel like, there's a big barrier between ethnicities and cultures and all that. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, embrace what makes you unique. I love Vaughn. He loves Korea for sure. Yeah, he has definitely a more of a positive point of view towards Korea. So yeah, I tend to lean more towards those content creators that say like, if you try hard enough and if you have that proactive open mindset, then it's going to be easier for you to like assimilate and get, accepted. But then there are so many creators, I can't like, speak for all of them, but there are some creators that have visited for like 6 months and they don't speak the language fluently, and they've went to some parties, but like the Koreans are just like, playing with themselves, and they upload a TikTok or YouTube video saying like, that kind of stuff. In those cases, I think that's invalid. Yeah, but there are different case by case. It's all different. But I don't think either side is wrong or right. They're both valid, and yeah, Korea has its own problems. But on the foreigner side, you got to take that into account when you're coming to a different country as well. Yeah, if they don't like the culture, why do they go to Korea? Why do they? I want to go back, but I would like to learn the language first. Love from Norway. Yay. I have massive respect for people who can move to a whole different country. All of this gives me anxiety. Yeah, that's natural. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes. Can you go drink post work hours with the boss and team, but everyone drinks alcohol and you drink juice? Hangout is okay, but no alcohol? Yeah. Yeah. If you just match the vibes, it's totally fine even if you don't drink alcohol. Like, I've seen so many foreigner friends and coworkers in the past that have hung out with us in company settings, and they don't drink an ounce of alcohol, but they're more hyped than us. They're like, oh, like 부장님, and then like doing all these jokes and like pouring the alcohol for them and going to the norebangs and singing whatever songs they like, and they're like, ah, and everyone loves them. Yeah, so it's a matter of like attitude and how much you want to synchronize. Yeah, if you have like the attitude like, I don't drink though, and that's it, then yeah, it's gonna be hard. When I visited Korea last year, I had taken Korean lessons for several months so that I could speak basic Korean while I was there. I think it's only respectful to do that. That's a great mindset, and that's more than what most of the people do. Like what I do, like like I speak a little bit of Japanese, but I feel like I could definitely improve it. And every time I go to Japan, when I'm struggling at like the restaurants and stuff, and I'm like speaking in like words and bits, I feel frustrated and I feel like, oh, maybe I should have practiced and learned a little bit more and all that. But still, like doing the bare minimum of like, learning the greetings, the thank yous, the excuse me's, and like the basic words, that's great. That's like, yeah, what everyone should do. Yeah, like even if you forget it, I usually go to like these countries and start speaking with the locals or Google it up, like what's thank you in this country, how do you say subway, how do you say bathroom, like how much, something like that. So yeah. Konnichiwa, genki desu ka? Hi, are you healthy? Yeah. Yep. Sweden has a lot of foreigners. Sometimes I don't know if I should speak Swedish or English first if I haven't heard their voice. Oh. Yeah, some people just want to do the bare minimum. That's okay. That's totally fine. Yeah, okay. So, well, my voice is now gone. So 300 people watching. I really appreciate that. And I've been going on for almost like 1.5 hours. Yes, so it's another Monday for me now. And let's see what my schedule looks like. I have a lot of work. Oh shit. I have an 11 a.m. meeting at Yoido today. I was not aware of that. I'm just looking at my calendar now and just realized. So if I were to go to Yoido, I have to at least wake up at 10. So if I were to go home now, it's going to be like 3:30, wash, go to sleep for 6 hours, 7. Well, okay, that's not too bad, but then I still have a lot of work to do left. Dang. Meanwhile, I observe in Singapore, most Koreans usually hang out with other Koreans and rarely with us local Singaporeans. Yeah, I think it all comes down to it's like just cultural familiarity and language. Yeah. I think that's how it is in the US too. Like a lot of Koreans just hang out with Asians or Koreans. And yeah. Oops. Maybe it's time to go. Yes. Learning language and culture of countries you visit is great. Yes. But before we go, of course, I have to do the honor of introducing you guys to Sue House, which is the best community for foreigners. Experience Korea and get opportunities. Connect, play, learn in Korea at landing.suehouse.app. If you go to their website over here, you can download it on App Store or Google Play Store, and you can take a look at their interface, what kind of events are going on. So if you're a foreigner and you want to be accepted in the Korean society and make some true friends, I would say proactively participate in these kind of meetings. Like there are multiple ways to meet new people. Look at all these folks over here, the foreigner Korean pairing sessions at April 26th. Mipo Community Cafe in Sinchon. So like you just hang out at these kind of places and you never know what kind of inhyuns or connections or friendships you're gonna make, right? So snowball party at Itaewon at April 4th. Oh, that's actually this week. All these kind of things like Korean classes, K-drama, acting, all that kind of stuff. They're all foreigners over here, right? You can enter the Korean communities with content creating and all that. So they're recruiting beauty content creators as well on Sue House. And if you check out their Instagram over here, all these kind of posts, very interesting stuff. Participate in these activities, go to regional areas, travel together, yeah, check out these products, learn Korean via their Korean textbooks, and yeah, all these kind of things. We sell this on Piroso as well, so check out the Korean textbooks on Piroso. And the cooking classes, makgeolli, learn some Korean traditional alcohol. Yeah, there are so many opportunities, and I think it just all goes down to like, how active you are, how willing you are to meet new people, and all that. So go check it out. Sue House _official on Instagram. Click follow me. Yes, followed by Just David 92. That's me. And of course, we have Piroso. So get 10% off your order if you sign up to our subscription newsletter. I sent out a newsletter just today with an extra additional 10% discount. For you guys in the chat, I'll just give it out for free. Blossom, that's our 10% coupon code. If you want a 10% on your entire purchase, because it is cherry blossom season. Cherry blossom season is around the corner, so I made like this post on the best places to visit for cherry blossom sightseeing in Korea and tips for enjoying the cherry blossoms in Korea. This is a very well done vlog by Soul Life. I really like this vlog, so I put it here, and there are some cherry blossom inspired products on our site as well, so go check out the blog over here. Let me actually give you the link if you want to check it out and get that 10% discount. But other than that, we have a wide variety of products over here, starting from our hoodie bestsellers, the Korean Army t-shirt you've been seeing on the background for a while over there, and the Nike Soul t-shirt, which is like a localized version of Nike. Very cool. A lot of people pointed out that it's cool when I wore it during my live streams. We have the Korean football jersey and glasses. Look at these glasses. Aren't they beautiful, right? Korea Celadon glass sake cups. Yes. Yeah, it's a Korean style sake cup. Super cute, right? And these little teacups with the Korean traditional round, what do you call this? Sun and moon decorations. And these phone cases with like these cool 사군자 bamboo design. There's also another design over here, chrysanthemum, and other stuff. Like we have the nan. This is the orchid. Yeah, I used to paint a lot of these during my Korean traditional painting classes. We have blossom over here. This is the plum blossom. It's very cute. We have all these different type of phones you can order for all of these. We have plates. 5 things you should never do in Korea. Check out this vlog. We have modern hanboks. Very cute. And all these kind of stuff. So definitely go check out Piroso, everybody. Yeah. You've gotten so much wear out of my Piroso hoodies. Love them. Thank you so much, Kel. Love those teacups. Thank you so much. Safe travels to Yeouido, Kyungsu. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm probably going to be having that meeting at IFC Mall. I don't know if I'm going to have lunch, but IFC Mall has a Panda Express over there. I think I'll get a Panda Express too. I don't know why, but I'm craving Panda Express suddenly, all of a sudden. And yeah, iPhone cases too. Yes, of course. You got a hoodie with the building. Yay. Way to go, Hilda. Thank you so much. You're talking about the Namsan Tower hoodie, right? Thank you so much for that purchase. What is cherry blossom in Korean? It's called 벚꽃. 벚꽃. In English, it would be pronounced something like this. 벚꽃. Yeah. In Japanese, it's sakura. Yes. And I quite honestly, cherry blossoms are more of a Japanese symbolic flower, but they're beautiful in Korea too. We have a lot of sakuras, 벚꽃s here. Yes. So yeah, I think I will call it a day here. Thanks for tuning in for more than 1.5 hours. Just wanted to tell you guys about Patreon, of course. If you want to support me, that's the best way. On Patreon over here, you get early access to all the podcast episodes. For the ones that are coming soon, I'll definitely be uploading it early here. And I have the exclusive podcasts over here. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But a lot of different topics, like political ones and all that. Yeah, more political topics over here, and K-pop reactions. Oh, it's the end of March, so I should get on to my K-pop reaction for March. So go check out Patreon. It's only like $5, $10, depending on the tier. But yeah, thanks everyone who's already supporting on Patreon. Patreon.com/KoreanPizzaClub. Let me just put that in the chat and end the stream here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. There you go. Bye everybody. Bye. Thank you, Hoodie Gang. Yes. Bye. Wait, I just have to read this one. Glad to have caught almost all of the chat when I was live. Live in Northern Cali. I have been a supporter since DKDK and Pizza Club started. Love your approachability. Multiple South Korean visitor. Thank you so much, Sivani. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great week ahead. And I'll try to pump out as much content as I can.